Course, Cowboy legend Mike Gundy leading the Pokes into Tulsa on a day to remember the late, great Boone Pickens, who helped change this football program forever. In Stillwater, they're on the road today. There's the new quarterback, Spencer Sanders, who could be a game changer today as they take on Tulsa, the Golden Hurricane, looking for their first win in this series since 1998. And we welcome you to Tulsa. I'm Beth Mowens, Anthony Beck. We've got Rocky Boyman with us as well. And when we talk about Boone Pickens and his generosity to this program, Anthony, he always wanted one thing: for Oklahoma State to be competitive. They have certainly done that under the direction of Mike Gundy, where now every game, every week is a building block towards a Big 12 championship.
You're right, and some would say Texas and Oklahoma are the leaders coming out of this conference, but after 2 games, I got to throw Oklahoma State in there. They've been one of the best offenses in the country. They've been electric, and I'm looking forward to see when they go on the field today.
They got a terrific young quarterback, and they've got playmakers at running back and receiver to help them out.
They really do. Some of the best in the country. It starts at the running back position with Chuba Hubbard. This guy's got great patience for a sophomore. When he hits the hole, he hits it hard. He's been very good, one of the top 10 rushers in FBS. And then you go at the receiver, Tylan Wallace. We all know him. He was a runner-up with the Bolitnikoff Award last season. Arguably the best receiver in college football. Will be on the field today. Look for them to get him the ball often and early.
Cowboys, one of the top scoring teams in the country, Rocky. A big test today for Tulsa's D.
Well, you're right, Beth. Last time these two teams met in this rivalry matchup, Oklahoma State put up 59 points. Tulsa does not want to get into a shootout here today, but we talked to the Tulsa coaches yesterday. They love the way their defense is playing. It's an aggressive 3-3 stack scheme. It's deceptive. The guys coming from all different places. One guy in particular that must have a big game is the defensive end, Trevis Gibson. He's put on 50 pounds since he arrived here on campus 5 years ago. He's got to get after Spencer Sanders in the pass game, but also corral him in the run game because he can beat you with his legs.
Thank you very much, Rocky. As Tulsa takes the field here at home at H.A. Chapman Stadium to get set for the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. And on the passing of Boone Pickens this week, Oklahoma State honoring the memory and the legacy of its greatest benefactor, who transformed not only an athletic department but an entire university, and a man that athletic director Mike Holder this week called the greatest Cowboy of them all. Steamy hot day here in Tulsa as we get set for the Golden Hurricane and the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. And the head coach for the Golden Hurricane, now in his 5th season, Philip Montgomery, the former offensive coordinator with stops in Houston and Baylor, and now trying to reinvigorate that offensive attack that was so potent the first couple of seasons here for Philip. And on the other side, now in his 15th season at his alma mater, Mike Gundy. 6 10-win seasons in the last 9 years, with 4 trips to a New Year's Six Bowl. And they've got a schedule that lines up quite nicely. You take care of business today. You've got Texas in primetime next week, where they have won the last 5 trips down to Austin. And then you've really got some momentum in Stillwater. Tulsa has won the toss and deferred, so the Oklahoma State offense, over 50 points in their first 2 games this year, will have the first crack at it. Zach Long will kick it off for Tulsa. L.D. Brown and Chuba Hubbard, the 2 running backs, are the deep men around their own 10-yard line. And this one will bound into the end zone for the touchback. And we will get a look at this high-powered Cowboy offense. New man in charge is the redshirt freshman from Denton, Texas, Spencer Sanders. 6 scores without a turnover.
He's a brand new look at the quarterback position. You're used to seeing pocket passers, guys standing in the pocket, delivering the pass. Well, he's the opposite. Dangerous run skills. He will beat you with his legs. Early this season, he's been extremely accurate, Beth. And I'll tell you what, he can extend plays in the passing game.
He'll get the call early and a big burst. Open field in front of him. And Chuba Hubbard will take it the distance on the first play of the day.
Talked about him in the open, Beth. One of the best running backs in college football. He's got some great linemen as well. Look at everybody getting on their blocks. He's got great patience, and he hits the hole with speed. And after he gets in the open, it's pretty hard to catch this guy. Unbelievable start for this prolific Oklahoma State offense.
Their 6th scoring play of the season of better than 50 yards as Hubbard takes it 75 on the ground. And Matt Amendola with the extra point. Jake McClure to kick it off. Keelan Stokes and Josh Johnson, the deep men for Tulsa. And Stokes from his own 1-yard line will get it out across the 25 and out to the 31. And a return of 30 yards. So how does Tulsa respond? They've also got a new quarterback this year, the transfer from Baylor, ready to go.
I think the key to beating Oklahoma State this week is getting back to what we do best as an offense. Throwing the ball, you know, taking what they give us. And if the defense presents us with the opportunity, we're going to take our shots, try to score as many points as we can.
Sat out last year after transferring from Baylor, then beat out Seth Boomer for the starting job. And Tulsa will try it on the ground with Shamari Brooks. Their other tailback, Corey Taylor, was a game-time decision. He was out there pregame warming up with his teammates. They have a very good 1-2 punch out of the backfield.
Yeah, Brooks is definitely one of their playmakers. And Zach Smith is a guy that's going to stand in the pocket, deliver accurate passes. A big jump from last week's game after starting slow against Michigan State in game 1.
Brooks corralled by A.J. Green. The secondary and the linebackers, Anthony, may be called on a lot more today. They are thin up front with 3 or 4 guys out on that defensive line. More on that coming.
Yeah, it's a hot day. They're going to have to go into their depth. Some younger players. They're already young, Beth, up front. They're going to have to get up and make some big plays.
Number 35 right there, Tui Alamaka, is the 3rd string tackle. And now on 35, time for Smith, incomplete. Intended for Keelan Stokes, and it was broken up by Harvell Peel, and it's 4th down.
Okay. Great coverage across the board. Nice job by Harvell Peel. Again, you saw there Zach Smith in the pocket. He's going to wait for it. He's going to find a receiver that gets open, and sometimes that may lead to a little bit of a mess if there's not a lot of great protection up front by the offensive line.
Thomas Bennett, the punter here from his own 20, with Dylan Stoner back at his own 20 for Oklahoma State. Low punt, and Stoner will have a chance and a good running start. Diving out across the 40 and a return of 17 yards. Let's go down to the field and rock it.
Yeah, guys, down here, the sun, in a word, is unrelenting. And if I pull out my handy-dandy infrared thermometer and take a shot here, you can see 124 degrees down here on the turf. This will be a factor as this game goes on.
It's about 76 in the booth.
I
here,
knew it.
Just if you need to come up and get cooled down, we'll be happy to let the guards bring you in.
This is Stoner down to the 45-yard line, wrapped up by Shamar Robinson. But Sanders presents problems with his legs as well.
Yeah, he does, and they're taking baby steps with him. They're trying to gradually bring his offense under the system for him to learn it as slowly as possible. These games early on have been good. And his completion percentage has been fantastic early on.
He's got time to go deep, and he does. Tylan Wallace in the end zone, incomplete, but flags are down. Manny Bunch, the safety, had the coverage, and he interfered with Wallace.
See, that's on him.
Defense for 10. 15-yard penalty. Automatic touchdown.
Again, Tylan Wallace runs by the defenders, waiting for it, has to come back. Anytime you have to slow down, come back for the ball, puts the secondary at a disadvantage, and Bunch there just gets his hands on him a little too early.
They pick up about 10 yards there on the penalty, down to the 35-yard line, and Hubbard gaping hole up the middle, inside the 15, legs turning for the pylon touchdown. Six carries, over 100 yards, and 2 scores in less than 4 minutes for Chuba.
I'll tell you what, they may not have to pass in this game today. Chuba right there, again, getting the ball. You see clearly he can explode through the hole once he sees it.
Dylan Galloway, Marcus Keys, Johnny Wilson, Bryce Bray, Tevin Jenkins. The big uns up front, leading the way for Chuba to take it.
Yeah, you talked about it, the left guard. That's Keys, and watch this, he's going to come up and kick out. Nice block. And I'll tell you, if you reach your arms out to get this guy tackled, he's going to run right through you with his thick legs. An early, big-time run for a 14-0 lead, Oklahoma State.
That right there is the only known surviving certified handwritten copy of the Declaration of Independence that Benjamin Franklin used back in 1777 as a diplomatic communique with Frederick the Great of Prussia. The Police Museum. 14-0, Oklahoma State, and Chuba Hubbard. Quick strikes here in the first 4 minutes. And Hubbard's over 100 yards rushing already. The return out to the 30. Smith again goes to Stokes to the outside.
Oklahoma State defensively also uses that 3-3 stack defense you see so much in the Big 12 here. Again, a lot of deception, lots of guys moving all over the place, hard to discern where they're coming from.
Run up the middle with Shamari Brooks, the junior from right here in Tulsa. A 200-yard performance would get him to 2,000 for his career. We still have yet to see Corey Taylor. If Taylor can't go, it would be T.K. Wilkerson or Christian Lovick behind him. Smith stepping up in the pocket, and down he goes. Where the defense holds. Cameron Murray got him around the shoelaces.
Yeah, you know, I talked about Smith. He's going to wait in that pocket for a long time to try to get this pass off. He missed his post route now. He's got his receiver, number 2, Stokes, coming open. And he doesn't see him, comes off it, and then big sack. Good job by the defensive line working with Murray coming up with the sack.
Junior out of Bryan, Arkansas. In his first year as a starter, their entire front new this year. They're looking for more production from them. Mike Gundy was telling us they'd like to see some more sacks and tackles for loss. Punt here will send Stoner backwards all the way back inside his own 15, and he's trapped there and out at the 23. On first down, and the first carry for L.D. Brown, breaking a couple of tackles out to the 44-yard line in a run of 9 yards. And as Rocky referenced earlier, it is steamy down there, over 120 degrees on the field, so we'll keep an eye on trying to keep guys fresh as well throughout the day.
Well, you know, Phil Montgomery, the head coach, said that that's their leader, their captain, the guy everyone looks to.
Incomplete on the deep ball, intended for C.J. Moore.
And the fact that he's not in the game is interesting. Now, let's see him now coming in on this 3rd down and 1. Let's see if he makes a difference here. He's lined up at the top of your screen. Defensive end for 15. He's going to have to get some push here early on. This offensive line for Oklahoma State is dominated up front.
This is L.D. Brown. Terrific push by the left side and across midfield. Dylan Galloway and Marcus Keys plowing guys under.
A lot of experience up front. You talked about Keys, number 75, the left guard. He's been here, fifth-year senior. Johnny Wilson at the center. Another guy, number 72. They feel good about their guys up front. And I'll tell you now, running quarterback, one of the top running backs in the Big 12 with Hubbard. This is going to be a tough offensive start as the season goes on.
Back to Chuba Hubbard. Down to about the 46-yard line behind Tevin Jenkins. And a run of 7 for Hubbard.
Tulsa's got to find a way to get off blocks. Right now, they are magnets, and if they keep getting pushed around up front, those linebackers are going to have to start filling those gaps more as well.
Trying to get Wallace involved, and there is a catch for Tyler. And we've got a late flag after the play as the linemen were separating. Gibson may have been involved here, and he's coming over to the sideline.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 15, 15-yard penalty, added to the end of the play, automatic first down. That is number 15.
So that is their captain and their leader, who's not off to the start that he had hoped for today.
Yeah, right here. I mean, listen, this is a challenge for Oklahoma State's offensive line as well. Pushing and shoving. Got to hold your emotions back. That didn't look like much of anything to me. I mean, you know, I get it unless something else happened in that play. Just two guys compete.
Down inside the 25, putting it up for grabs. Wallace couldn't quite get there. And that was Reggie Robinson on the coverage.
Yeah, it's a good job bringing the pressure up the middle there. Getting in the quarterback's face, you have to do that on the throw. Watch this, they got some pressure on the outside. Sanders got throw a little early, and good defense on the back end. Cornerback Robinson, a taller cornerback, a lot taller on both sides for Tulsa, defending the pass.
Hubbard off the left edge, did I stiff arm, but tripped up at the 20 by Williams. And a gain of 4, it'll bring up 3rd down.
You know, Rocky, I'm interested. You got 3 down linemen. If you block those guys up and you get to the second level not being touched, what are the change-ups you could do? Does the linebackers come? Well, what are your options?
Yeah, you got to start stunting the defensive lineman, twisting. You got to bring the linebackers in different gaps. You got to somehow catch this offense off guard.
Trying to bring some pressure. It's picked up again. Wallace able to hold it momentarily, and then Robinson jarred it loose. Then it's 4th down.
A lot of the big catches early on this season have been short. Watch Wallace track this football. Great coverage, 2 guys fighting, pulls it in, just can't hold on to it, just bounces off his body and pops out. That's really good coverage by Robinson. 2 guys right now battling early on the football field.
So a 37-yard field goal attempt coming up for Amendola. Out of the hold of Jake McClure. And he's got it. 3 possessions, 3 scores. Oklahoma State 17-zip. 6 minutes to go here in the first. Mike Gundy coaching at his alma mater with the 17-0 lead over Tulsa. And the passing in the middle of the week of Boone Pickens. Those 2 guys the most responsible for the emergence of Oklahoma State as a national power over the last decade or so. And Gundy sent out this tweet this week: Mr. Pickens, a big part of our success. Thankful for the lasting impact he's had. It would have been difficult for us to climb as high. His legacy here will live on for a long time to come. Of course, his name is on the football stadium over in Stillwater. And it was that gift over a decade ago of about $165 million that really started the ball rolling for all of Oklahoma State athletics. Wow, it's been a rocky start at times for some Power 5 teams around the country. Of course, Air Force has taken Colorado into overtime. We've already seen a handful of upsets through the first couple of weeks. And so far for Tulsa, that's not the story they were looking for. More penalty yardage than actual yardage for the offense. Brooks breaking some tackles, shedding defenders. Then a nice shifty run out across the 40 for a first down.
That's what you get out of him. Sideways, a little bit shaky style of wonder. To me, once he hits his hole, get going north and south. He kind of jumped into contact there after he made it through a little bit. See all that open space in front of you? Go hit that green grass, but nice run there. They're looking for something better. They're just trying to get past the 50 right now to get some confidence on offense.
Brooks out to the 45, and here is our first look now at Corey Taylor. These two guys combined for over 1,800 yards a year ago, and they are both on the Doak Walker watch list for best back in the country. The shoulder injury had Taylor nicked up a bit this week, and he will get the call. And he'll lower his shoulder pads and get out close to midfield. It's going to set up a 3rd and short for the junior from right here in Tulsa. And a big fella, at 222 pounds. Packed into that 5'10" frame. He'll get the call and the first down. Breaking it to the outside and inside the 40-yard line of the Cowboys. They'll try and quicken the tempo here. Oklahoma State able to get some fresh legs in up front defensively. Smith against the 3-man pressure. Has a man wide open up the seam. Touchdown to Keelan Stokes. 39 yards.
Heck of a move here. See number 2. Watch him flash out and stick his foot in the ground. That's a big time play. That's a heck of a job by Stokes. He's one of their best. Watch him set this stem, bring his head, and he completely fools Harvell Peel, the safety, out of his socks on that one.
6 plays, 75 yards in just over a minute and a half for Philip Montgomery and Tulsa, and they are on the board. 4:23 to go in the first quarter, and a much different feeling for the Golden Hurricane as they celebrate the Stokes TD. So the quick counter here for Tulsa after falling down 17-0. Stokes with a sweet move on the route for 39 yards on the pass from Zach Smith. Brown and Thomas Harper are the deep men now inside the 5. And it will be Brown from his own 3-yard line. And he will not make it back to the 20. Cut down at the 17. Good coverage for only 15 yards on the return. Justin Wright made the play. First sellout since 1998.
That's not the inside scoop I was looking for. I was looking for a little more football related.
All I know is you can get an ice cold dome foam and a dome dog, and it gets awfully loud in there when that place is packed. So
how's the air conditioning situation?
Non-existent. Non-existent.
Use that to their favorites.
Sanders popped up in the air and finally intercepted by Robinson. And a turnover for the Tulsa defense. Reggie went a little carnival on us, but after a few juggles, he brought it down.
Well, the receiver's wide open here, Tyler Wallace, and he just floats this ball up a little too much. Make that wolf. And that's a great job by Robinson. Look at the length. We talked about the cornerbacks. Big, 6'1", 6'2". That's great concentration. Some early big plays early on by Robinson by the Tulsa secondary.
Well, they've managed to keep Wallace quiet so far, although Chuba Hubbard has run roughshod over him, but they've got a chance now to chip away at that deficit, which just a moment ago was at 17. And now Zach Smith with the short field. Blitz coming, and they got him back into Tulsa territory. And a loss of 8. That was Trey Sterling at the bottom of that pile.
Yeah, they're going to get a little move on the inside, but really it's Zach Smith just in the pocket. He's waiting for his crosser to get open. It's not there. And he's not going to be a guy that's going to be able to move around too much in the pocket. That's plenty of protection It's just that, you know, he's got to have an alternative plan to go to his number 2 if number 1's not there.
2nd and 18. Corey Taylor cut down right at the line of scrimmage. Good push right up the middle by Brock Martin. Rocky?
Guys, a lot of press man by both these cornerbacks for Oklahoma State. Rodarius Williams, A.J. Green, both with 28 career starts, and they love getting right up in the mug of that wide receiver and challenge them all over the field.
Williams, the junior from Shreveport. A.J. Green, the senior, already has a pick 6. That came against McNeese State last week. 3rd and long. A little bit of a prevent look here for the Cowboy D. They'll just bring 4. Smith, incomplete. Looking for Josh Johnson, and Trey Sterling able to break it up. It's 4th down.
It's tough there, obviously, to get that man-to-man you want to. They'll just play it back and get soft when it's 3rd and so many yards. That sack clearly took away from their opportunity there after that interception.
Well, that might be a big miss ultimately for Tulsa to have the ball in Oklahoma State territory, unable to move it off of the pick. Thomas Bennett. And a dead miss inside the 5 and into the end zone it goes. On the ground, Hubbard really nice on the cutback for Chuba and out to the 40-yard line behind Bryce Bray and a run of 20.
Yeah, you know, he's just an impressive player right now. Look at him just wait. He sees it, he feels it. And he's a guy that literally can get you 5 yards and not even touch. And I can't say enough about this offensive line for Oklahoma State. This is impressive, and this will be something they need to put on tape as they get into Texas.
He's averaging over 10 yards a minute as the first quarter comes to an end. Oklahoma State with the lead. Tulsa with a bit of the momentum. And a big first quarter for Chuba Hubbard. 2 long touchdown runs. And the 10-point advantage for the Pokes. 17-7, Oklahoma State with the lead over Tulsa as we get set to start the second quarter. And the big advantage for Oklahoma State in total yardage, including Chuba Hubbard, who has already run for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Short field here for Oklahoma State with the 10-point lead. They're looking for the quick strike. Wallace bobbles, couldn't hold on, and for the second time today, he has been interfered with.
The first 2 games of the season, they've been trying to work the quick game, and Tyler Wallace has been able to catch balls and take it a lot of yards on short catches. It looks like this game is their game. They're trying to get the ball down the field and work the quarterback a little bit. Spencer Sanders' arm, trying to get some of the deep balls. One thing I've noticed has been a little high.
Pass interference. Defense, number 12. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
A little high and hanging in the air, and I don't necessarily think that, you know, Wallace has got great separation against these corners, which may lead me to believe like maybe you go another side, go the alternative receiver potentially on these deep balls.
Well, Tulsa's really stacking the box, trying to take away the effectiveness of Hubbard, so it's leaving those one-on-ones on the outside.
Hubbard leaving his way. Falls inside the 20-yard line.
The question is going to be how long can they play effective man-to-man against Wallace, one of the best wide receivers in the country.
He's been targeted 3 times, guys. 1 catch for Wallace so far.
And this is part of it. You want to be the great receiver. You're not going to get off coverage against Tulsa. They're going to get in your face. They're going to have to win your routes.
They're looking his way again, and Sanders incomplete. Not sure if that was headed for Wallace or he had one of the tight ends, Logan Carter, rolling out that way. It's 3rd down and 3.
I'm not quite sure if he was trying to hit that short pass to Carter, like you said, or I will say this, he hasn't been able to, they haven't really utilized his legs early on in this game.
They're going to try with Hubbard, and a terrific push by Tulsa. Down to the 19-yard line. He's going to come up a couple short. Zaven Collins and Jackson Player, the two youngsters they are so high on when this Tulsa defense were there to make the play.
Yeah, Jackson Player, and I know Rocky really likes this guy's get off at the front there on the nose tackle position.
Yeah, continue to watch number 90. His get off is incredible, and right now he's in the face of those guards and tackles. We'll see how effective that is throughout the rest of this game.
So they're forced to bring the kicking team on. Amendola's been good from 37, and now a 36-yarder. And the boot is on its way, and it is good. So 2 for 2 for Matt Amendola, and a 20-7 Cowboy lead over Tulsa. According to USA Today, that is the #1 best new attraction in America. It's the gathering place. 100 acres of world-class riverfront space, dining, recreation, art. Just a few minutes from the University of Tulsa campus. Little medieval feel. And check out the slide, Anthony.
It's pretty steep. I would call that my, what do they call it? Acceleration would be pretty quick heading down that angle right there. That would be good.
Beth Bowens, Anthony Beck, Rocky Boyman with you here in Tulsa. Big advantage yardage for Oklahoma State in this first half. They've got the lead as well, 20-7. Go through the back of the end zone for the touchback. And he'll get it again. And he is out to midfield in another decent run, 8 yards behind Dante Bibbins on the right side.
It's a good drive right here, good tempo. Question is, got to see Zach Smith complete some balls and not take hits beyond line of scrimmage. Get themselves to cut this big lead down by Oklahoma State if they could.
Brooks. He's got the first down.
I like Brooks.
Yeah.
He runs out. He runs hard. You know, he's not the biggest back, but he's very quick in the hole. And again, he's got quick movement speed. He's spinning every time. He's not missing any opening that offensive line gives him.
Smith rifles one down the sideline, right into the grasp at the 10-yard line of Sam Crawford as he got behind A.J. Green. On the money from Zach Smith.
I like Crawford. I think he's going to be a star for this team, and he's doing it against one of the best corners in college football right now. It's a great job, just runs right by him. You see the tempo here for Tulsa.
Brooks lunging for the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown, Tulsa.
Got a ball game here, Beth, after that quick start by Oklahoma State.
Big 44-yard pass play. Zach Smith to Crawford to set up the 3-yard run.
Yeah, he's been an early star. Crawford going against Green on the outside. Great touch with this ball. Watch his Boone. Drops it right in the breadbasket. And then the speed, the tempo catches Oklahoma State a little soft up front, and they get themselves a touchdown.
2 scoring drives of under 2 minutes here in the first half for Tulsa. And we've got ourselves a 1-score game. Just under 10 to go in the first half. And Tulsa making some noise. Well, a big play to Sam Crawford to set up the Shamari Brooks 3-yard rushing touchdown. 75 yards in 7 plays. And it's game on in Tulsa. Oklahoma State leading it 20-14 now.
But in terms of Oklahoma State's offense, first 2 games of the season, Spencer Sanders has been so effective with his legs. During the course of this week, though, the conversation was, he's taking too many hits. Maybe he should hand it more. Anthony, what do you think? Should he deploy his legs a little bit more right here?
I'm on the same page. I was thinking about the same thing. They're going a lot of deep balls right now. They're getting away from the short passing game. I know they're trying to develop him and work him in some of the things and try to work some things down the field, which this offense has been known for. But if you watch the first 2 games like me and Rocky have seen, you clearly see a different style, more powerful style when Sanders has the control to hand the ball off or run it with his legs. And didn't see a lot of big hits, but I know they're trying to protect him in the run game, but he is an absolute weapon with the ball in his hand.
1 carry for just 9 yards. Through the air, he's 5 for 10 so far. And there's Hubbard with the 2nd down carry, so it's 3rd down at about 5. Johansi Burnett with the tackle there.
And those deep balls clearly limit your completion percentage. Came into this ball game almost 74% throwing the ball, so they can convert here on 3rd down.
Looking to the outside and well covered. After Johnson made the catch, there was nowhere for him to go. Brandon Johnson knocked him out. It's 4th down.
I mean, that's all fine and good, but it's 3rd 5, Ben. You ran a 3-yard route. You got to get your depth on this or push it up. That's just a poor, really, by both players. Sanders can't go to him, and you got to get your depth at the receiver position for the 1st down.
Of course, 2011 here, the memorable game that was played overnight. Started after midnight, didn't end till after 3 a.m. Big Oklahoma State win due to a 3-hour weather delay. And Tulsa will have it here after a 51-yard punt at their own 15-yard line and an opportunity to take the lead after they fell behind today 17-0. Johnson is the motion man. Zach Smith on 1st and 10 will give the Taylor out to the 20, and a collision there with Colby Harvell-Peel.
Another interesting matchup at the bottom of your screen here is you got the big-time wide receiver combination with Crawford going against number 4, the all Big 12 A.J. Green. It's a good heated matchups here.
That's where Smith is looking, and the catch is made just outside the 25. Let's see if they give him the spot. It's a good one for Tulsa. Oh, now they're going to step it back to the 25-yard line. 3rd and a couple. Taylor, he's got it, pulling his way out to the 30-yard line behind Chris Ivey on that left side.
Tyler Lacey, number 89, D-lineman. He tried to stop him with the force and the power he talked about coming from the tailback there, Corey Taylor, 225 pounds. Just a little too much on short down and distance.
Brooks and Taylor now have combined for 76 yards rushing here in the 1st half. Taylor, a shimmy and a shake for a couple. Tyler Lacey that time won the battle up front. Taylor on 2nd and 8 finds a seam and gets out across the 40-yard line for another 1st down. Good hard running and a gain of 10 for Corey Taylor.
Yeah, nice job, the interior offensive line. Gerald Wheeler, number 66, the center, doing a good job pushing his guy out. Pushing, blocking number 42 here. That's Jernigan, the true freshman, so taking advantage of his matchups.
Thank you, Kevin. We might have a score update for you here in Tulsa. The Golden Hurricane on the move with Brooks and Taylor doing it on the ground.
Again, look at the tempo. Look at these guys going off the field for Oklahoma State. They're tired. Tulsa right now believing in themselves, driving this ball with ease down the field.
They are doing it on this drive with the run game. And the youngsters, sophomores Chris Paul, Gerald Wheeler, Dante Bivens, the redshirt freshman, Xavier Galdwin.
Brooks has been a spark plug. Look at this. I mean, nobody's home. He could have went left or right. Finds the open crease. And again, you better wrap him up. He's got the escapability, great speed to hit the hole. Been a big-time player.
How about the work of Shamari so far this afternoon?
Quietly had a nice day. Started off, you see the strength and power for a 5'9" guy, only 200 pounds, and then he's got quickness, the lateral shake. I like this kid. This kid's been a force, had a nice career here at Tulsa. 12 carries, 67 yards on the day.
And Anthony, you just mentioned Oklahoma State's defense looks tired. I concur, and remember, they're down 3 defensive linemen. Evers, Asai, and Antoine is also not playing in this game. Hot day, remember.
Quick to the edge. And that's the tight end, Denzel Carter. And a drive that started back on their own 16-yard line. And 10 plays later, they are knocking on the red zone. And they are working the clock here in the second quarter. The delay to Brooks. He's got another hole. And close to the first down at the 16-yard line.
You know, Rocky talked about getting worn down. Another thing that's a problem is their defensive line is young. Not a lot of experience. This guy's got to fight through it right now.
Brooks to the 10. First down, Tulsa. 80 yards rushing now for Samari and another 42 for Corey Taylor on the ground. On this 13th play of the drive. Brooks again. Ran into Trey Sterling, as well as Henry down at the bottom of the stack.
Remember, guys, this is a Tulsa team who had negative 73 yards rushing against Michigan State. Now effectively run the ball.
A lot of space on the bottom. Well, they're changing their formation now, but they had Crawford on the bottom of the screen one-on-one. They're in a tight formation area. You might throw or take a chance on a fade route with the pass.
More of Brooks. And more of the same, lunging down to the 1-yard line. He's close to the first down.
Well, why change it up? Just go with the hot hand. Right now, they can't stop him. I get this tempo even faster here down by the goal line.
Brooks has it. And the spot is inside the 1, which would be good for a first and goal. And it is a fresh set of downs.
I can't imagine any other player than handing this ball off as many times as it takes.
Brooks from 17 down to a tie game for Tulsa.
Heck of a job by Tulsa, Beth, weathering the storm. Oklahoma State comes out in the first 2 series, and it looked like, quite frankly, it'd be a blowout today. And they have played good defense. They've held down the offense of Oklahoma State, and clearly their offense at Tulsa has picked up some steam, and they're starting to dominate the ball up front.
And they have the lead behind the strength of their run game with Brooks and Corey Taylor. Big second quarter for the Golden Hurricane. It's 21-20 over Oklahoma State at the half. Shamari Brooks, 18 carries, 91 yards, churning it out on the ground. Zach Smith with some big plays. They had 8 of them, explosive plays in that first half. And we'll be back with more action after these messages. Welcome back to the American Conference on ESPN. And a big turnaround for Tulsa in the second quarter after Oklahoma State jumped in front 17-0. Tulsa with the 21-3 run as they take the lead into the second half. They will also receive the opening kick, and they'll have it at their own 25-yard line. Beth Mullins, Anthony Beck, Rocky Boyman, a tale of 2 quarters, AB. It was the run game of Chuba Hubbard in the first, the run game of Shamari Brooks in the second.
Yeah, Oklahoma State came out blazing on offense. You know, really to the fact that you would think Tulsa would maybe give up a little bit into this game, but they fought back. Their offense, it took them a little time to pick up steam, but they're scoring touchdowns right now in their drives. Oklahoma State had to get a field goal late in the second quarter. So when you're looking at this team as they come out in the second half, can Tulsa pick up the momentum, continue to drive the ball down the field and control it? And I think Zach Smith's they're going to have to change it up a little bit. They're going to try to do some things to stop the run. Can Zach Smith make a couple big passes?
First carry for Brooks and down to Rocky Boyman.
You guys, I was able to talk to Mike Gundy at halftime. He said one thing offensively, they've got to do a better job converting second and medium, make those third downs much more manageable. And then defensively, he said, look, it's simple. We got to get off of blocks. He said, if we got to put an extra guy in the box, that's what we have to do to stop that run.
Yeah, and for this offensive Oklahoma State team, 54 points per game through the first 2 games. Tulsa has slowed them down. And here goes Brooks again. Look at the second effort. Keeps those legs churning, and he's close to the yard to gain at the 35, and it's a first down.
I like how their sticking worked in the first half. I mean, clearly everybody in the building knows that Brooks is the hot hand, that he continues to get the ball. These 3 down linemen up front, they got to find a way to clog up some of these gaps. And these linebackers for Oklahoma State have to find the ball carrier, make tackles at least no more than 2 or 3 yards down the field. They're not doing that right now.
Over 100 yards now on the day for Brooks. Chuba Hubbard with 173 for Oklahoma State. The 2 early scores in the first quarter. And here goes Brooks again. Into a wall of defenders led by Cameron Murray.
This 3-3 stack defense. So much depends on just shooting those gaps. You know, one gap defense, but right now it just doesn't look like there's that quickness in eliminating some of those interior gaps.
More on the ground, and there it is. And shooting that gap was Malcolm Rodriguez, the linebacker, and a loss of 5 to set up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, it was a nice job. Everything flowed. The defensive linemen hit their gaps, and the open areas is where the linebackers come in. And you see right there Rodriguez doing a nice job making that tackle to set up this 3rd down and long.
Hold up Smith to allow Oklahoma State to get some fresh defenders in. Crawford is wide to the right with A.J. Green on him defensively. White stepping up, pop, flying. Is it intercepted by Oklahoma State? Who came down with it? No, it's Brooks. Huge play there as Trace Ford got right in on the quarterback Smith. And it's 4th down. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, Jim Knowles talked about the defensive end. Trace Ford coming on as a true freshman. Great push, throws the tackle out of there and gets in the throwing lane. And how about those linemen? It was up for grabs. It was a hot potato. One of those defensive linemen come down for the linebackers. Everybody jumping up for it. Great defensive play.
Position here. Thomas Bennett, his 6th punt of the day. Low wobbler, and it will chase Stoner back inside his 40. Dillon makes a man miss. And will be taken down at his own 47-yard line by Grant Sawyer. A punt of 51 yards, a return of 7. Cowboys have it when we come back. Here's a look at the new offensive coordinator from Princeton to Oklahoma State, Sean Gleason. Leaning forward there in the box upstairs. It started out great. 3 quick scores, a couple of touchdowns and a field goal, a 17-0 lead, but they have been quiet since and find themselves down a point here in the 3rd. Chuba Hubbard with the cutback across midfield. The first 3 times they had it, Chuba ran for 2 scores. And they looked unstoppable, but in the last 6 possessions, just 3 points and a turnover. And ineffective trying to move it. Play action here for Sanders. Tylan Wallace wrapped up immediately, but give him the first down on the catch. And a gain of 8.
Yeah, I got to give kudos to number 9, the cornerback for Tulsa. Robinson's done a really nice job of keeping away the explosive plays on Wallace. And to go back to Sean Gleason, the offensive coordinator, first bit of adversity here this season in a tight ball game, trying to get this offense clicking again.
Hubbard with the cutback down to the 36-yard line. He's been able to run well. They've taken Tylan Wallace out of it, and so far, Philip Montgomery doing just exactly what he wanted to do, and that was get him into a fight, he told us yesterday. They've had 2 blowout wins, the Cowboys have. Let's see what they can do if we make them play for 60 minutes. And the fight is on right now for Tulsa as Hubbard churns out another first down. So Oklahoma State looking better on this possession.
Yeah, and if you have noticed Chuba Hubbard, when he's going to attack the hole, he really does glide into it. He doesn't immediately hit it. He's waiting for that opportunity to strike a big run, and that's one of those factors, that patience factor you really like about him, where he tries to find the big explosive play when he's running the football.
Wasn't utilized much last week, but carrying the mail today, 22 carries, and he could get 200 yards right here. For the second time in 3 games, Hubbard 200 plus. Rocky?
Yeah, I think you got to find a way to continue to get Tylan Wallace involved in this game, and not the deep shots we saw in the first half there, AB, but just some comebacks, some end arounds, bubble screens. He's your best player. Get the ball in his hands, let him do what he does.
Yeah, he's really averages around 17, 18 yards a catch. He only has 4 catches right now in this game, and they tried to go deep ball with him, but to me, just get the ball in his hands. Let him create the yardage.
Trying to go deep again, underthrown and wide of the target, looking for Jordan McCray. 3rd down.
Yeah, Jordan McCray, 6'6", good opportunity to go up, but to me, the Sanders deep ball is way too high for me, and that's part of the learning process as he throws it. It's just up in the air. It gives the cornerback an opportunity to catch up to the receiver who's running by. If you take some trajectory off of it, you can get yourself a play.
He's going to run for it, and he'll get it. 1 man to beat. Terrific block at the 5-yard line by Tylan Wallace. Touchdown, Cowboys, and a 27-yard run. On a day where he hasn't been able to catch many, big block for Wallace downfield to help out his quarterback. Seven plays, 52 yards, 2 minutes and 17 seconds. And the Cowboys are back in front. And
Sanders, he's the guy that has the ability to change the game. He's using his legs, and clearly right there, this opens up the game a bit with his legs. So that's an option right now that Oklahoma should clearly utilize like they've done in the first 2 games of the year.
27-21, OK State, thanks to Spencer Sanders on the run, Anthony.
Well, you know, here's the issues right now. This player has to be contained. And if you play it here, watch, he's not in position. He's rushing up the field. Now the quarterback's out. Now stop it right here. Here's another problem. You got the corner man-to-man, and he's running this way. He doesn't see anything going on. And that gives Sanders all the room he needs and a blocker in front of him to make this run go. So poor job on both ends by the defensive lineman not getting to the outside because of knowing his corners in man-to-man on the outside.
And AB, that's what I was calling for all first half. If you're playing man-to-man like that, that corner's back's going to be turned to you. Why not utilize it? Now they're going to be forced to play a little more zone that might soften that up for the short passing routes.
And we talked to Travis Gibson, the defensive end, and he mentioned that, Rocky. He was talking about, listen, we got to be in contained because our corners are running. And clearly right there, it goes against them in that defensive set.
The completion to Stokes, shoved out of bounds at the 46-yard line, just shy of the marker. Pressure coming up the middle, and Brooks will run into it. He's got the first down, however, and that should get him over 100, back over 100 yards for the day. 23 carries, 101 yards. 6th time in his career. And the completion across the middle inside the 30-yard line, John Johnson. But I think they might get Brooks
Johnson took
for a cutback here. And the receiver, Johnson, hurt as he comes across. I think this is Brooks on the chop.
First foul, chop block. offense. Number 71, number 73, 15-yard penalty. We play first down.
Yep, 71.
Paul and Couch.
71, and player number 3.
And that was Brooks who went low. Well, that'll set Tulsa back 1st and 25 from their own 41. Brooks trying to get the corner. Can't do it. Good pursuit by that defense and Tyler Lacey.
Looking at possibly a hold on the outside by left tackle 65 as the defender tried to break away. Grabbed his jersey and pads there. Got away with that one.
Loss of 1. 2nd and 26.
Anytime a tackle puts his hands up when the back goes by him, that's a problem.
That's Chris Ivey out there. So 5 wide now in this set. Smith to the outside over the head of Sam Crawford. 3rd down coming up.
And again, 2 inside receivers are sitting in holes waiting for the football. And Zach goes all the way to the outside. Again, just kind of locking in on one of his favorite targets, Crawford on the outside.
5 wide again. Blitz coming right up the middle. Caught by Cannon Montgomery out to midfield. Then a gain of 10, but short of the 1st down, and it's 4th down. And 3 consecutive stops here in the 3rd quarter for the Oklahoma State D.
Yeah, they're going to give up this play, and they're going to sit back and wait for it, and then make the tackle. Good job by Marvell Peel to come up and unload on the coach's son, Cannon Montgomery.
After owning the 2nd quarter, Tulsa quiet here in the 3rd. 7th punt for Bennett. Stoner back inside his 10. And he'll fair catch it there. We've got 1:41 to go here in the 3rd. Oklahoma State 27, Tulsa 21. And Chuba Hubbard is back out there alongside Spencer Sanders. Hubbard 23 carries, 200 yards today. All day for Sanders. Going deep for Wallace, who goes up and makes the catch. And he's on his way. Flag is down behind him as Tylan Wallace takes it to the house. 90 yards.
And that's going to be on the defense. And listen, they've been trying to complete this ball all day, and Wallace has had to go up and really make it a contested catch every time. He's come up close. Finally, one goes his way, the patience. And again, Sanders a little short on this throw here. He's waiting for it. Number 8, Johnson just gets his hands on him, but Wallace just clearly has great concentration, watching the football, tracking it, and he makes a huge play. And just like that, he's having himself a pretty decent day when you start catching balls for 90 yards.
5 catches, 118 yards. His 3rd touchdown catch of over 65 yards. And they will not get the PAT. So 33-21, a couple of scores here in the 3rd quarter for Oklahoma State, and a big one for Tylan Wallace. Bolitnikoff finalist, one of the top 3 a year ago, certain to be there again this season. Of course, already a couple of Bolitnikoff winners with Justin Blackman and James Washington here at Oklahoma State. Minute and a half for Tulsa. Shamari Brooks caught in the backfield. Malcolm Rodriguez got to him.
Safeties, Rocky, are clearly hitting the gaps now and finding themselves getting to the ball carrier here.
Yeah, playing with much more confidence, but Malcolm Rodriguez was a safety the last 2 seasons, and because of Calvin Bundage's injury late in camp, Rodriguez had to move to linebacker. He's starting to really figure out the position. That was a nice play.
And he's 6'2", 205, so he doesn't have that size, but he's got speed. You clearly saw it there as he shot the gap to make the play behind the backfield.
Smith now with time behind the intended receiver, Stokes. 44 seconds to play here in the third. Zach now 13 of 22, 156 yards and a touch.
Right around 50%, a little over 50%. Got to get him more towards that high 60s. That's what the staff is looking for from the former Baylor quarterback. Long yardage third down has not worked towards Tulsa's favor in this game.
Here comes the blitz. Smith knocked to the ground, incomplete. Rodriguez again.
Yep, they bring a little pressure here just to speed the process up. See them, 2 guys coming in, amen, and then also Rodriguez getting those shots. You don't want to see the hits on the quarterback, but Oklahoma State starting to pick it up now defensively, causing Zach Smith to throw that ball early when his receiver was not ready to catch it.
What a journey for Rodriguez from former high school quarterback to safety to linebacker, making plays here for Oklahoma State. And a 4th consecutive punt on a possession for Tulsa here in the second half. Stoner with some time. Bounces off one of his own guys out to midfield. With 28 seconds to go, a return of 11 yards. So Spencer Sanders, a 27-yard rushing touchdown and a 90-yard passing score here in the third. Into the belly of Hubbard. Picks up 3. Will that be the final play of this third quarter? Looks like it will be. 33-21, Oklahoma State with the lead over Tulsa. As we head to the, you guessed it, 4th quarter at Chapman Stadium. Rush is a good thing to talk about for this Oklahoma State offense, and Chuba Hubbard today. He's over 200 yards, and he'll pick up a few more there. Oklahoma State owned the first quarter. Tulsa took over in the second quarter, and it's back to the Cowboys here in the third with a couple of scores, a 14-0 run, 13-0 run, and Tulsa held to just 30 yards and only 6 yards rushing in that third quarter. And Spencer Sanders running for a TD, throwing for a TD in that third. Ball is down. Tulsa almost had it, and now they do. And into Oklahoma State territory for Manny Bunch. Second takeaway for the Golden Hurricane defense.
Yeah, this is something they do a lot of. It's the exchange on the read option, and it just gets tugged on a little bit too much by Hubbard. Looks like it slips out of his hands as he's pulling it out of Hubbard's chest there, and it's a huge play. We saw those yards discrepancies, Beth. We're looking for a pattern. The fourth quarter should be Tulsa's quarter, right? So we'll see if they can pick it up here to finish this game.
Ball security an issue for Spencer Sanders. The fumble and an interception. Chain goes on for Bunch. And a short field now for Zach Smith. Can they get the offense going again? Brooks on the delay. Back out across midfield at a gain of 4. defensively by Jared Bernard, the safety, coming up to make the hit. Third down, Tulsa. Smith spins away from it, looks downfield, got a man at the 12-yard line, and the sliding catch made by Juan Carlos Santana, first down.
Never know who's going to be that guy that makes the play. It's a great job falling to your left and throwing that ball only where he can get it. Maybe a little dose here of Shamari Brooks.
Brooks inside the 10 to the 9. Zach Smith on this drive, 3 of 4 with a couple of third down conversions, showing some good composure here.
You know, we've seen a lot of balls going to the slot receiver in Stokes too. One guy that caught a touchdown for them last week was the tight end, Denzel Carter. Maybe you forget about this guy. You could sneak one in if needed as they get closer to the end zone.
He's on the right side of the line, back after he had to leave with cramps earlier. Smith looking right. Now looking for somewhere to go. Into the end zone and out. Incomplete. Crawford was in the area. He'll live to play another day here, 3rd and 9.
I think Carter was the initial receiver. He was running a 10-yard out at the goal line. When he came out of his break, he stopped running. If he would have continued it, you know, when your quarterback breaks to the outside, Beth, you got to keep going with him. If you just stop and you lose your opportunity, they're going to pull him out and bring another receiver in. And again, 3rd and long situation. See if this defense, Oklahoma State, can cover up here and get a little rush on the quarterback.
50% on third downs today. Smith has some room to run and caught from behind by Jernigan at the 5. 4th down, they can still get a first down at the 1.
I think you go for it here. I mean, you have to, right? Because you're a lot of time left, but field goals aren't going to help you. You got to score touchdowns. Zach Smith here couldn't find his receiver. They had a little bunch set, tried to confuse Oklahoma State, but they're in a zone, so nowhere to go with the football.
So they will send the offense back out there from the Oklahoma State 6-yard line, 4th and 5. Bring in the pressure, and Smith is going to be sacked and thrown down at the 20-yard line. Kobe Harvell Peel, and Smith doesn't even give him a chance to put it up in the air.
Yeah, you know, I don't even think he felt this. This is a great call. Again, they flip-flop the formation, and right here, he's just going to come through, and watch Zach Smith. Really just doesn't have any idea he's coming at all to the very last second. Monster play by Harvell Peel.
And AB, it looked like they got the pick that they wanted. They had a wide receiver open, but by that time it was too late. There was a defender right in his face.
Big 4th down stop and a loss of 9. And Oklahoma State will take over at its own 15. Under 10 minutes to go. And the 12-point lead. Jackson Player with the tackle on Hubbard.
That kid is good now. I'll tell you, he's got some feet. He's going to wreak havoc in the American Conference. If you're a Tulsa fan watching this kid's exciting. He's fast. We talked about his speed off the ball. It's a heck of a job chasing a really good running back down the line of scrimmage.
Sanders will run it out of bounds at the 11-yard line, and will bring up a 3rd down.
Can't let Sanders break contain here. You got him in a long 3rd down opportunity. Make him throw the football on this play.
Mix up on defense here.
They're trying to run guys off the field and now run them back on. That's Jackson Player. Not sure which Way to go.
And because of Oklahoma State taking their time, it gives them an opportunity not to burn a timeout there.
Quarterback draw. Sanders pulled down, but it looks like a face mask penalty coming.
And he's cheering, but he shouldn't be.
Alec Glenn doesn't realize it yet.
How do you not know you're pulling a guy's face mask?
Not the moment to be kissing the biceps with the yellow flags at your feet.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 12, 15-yard penalty.
Is he trying to trick the coaching staff into not getting yelled at? Because this is a personal foul. He didn't just nick his face mask. They got a great situation here. Everybody's there. Everybody's chasing. All you have to do is pull him down, and literally just pulls his face mask to the ground. Right there. Golly, just terrible play right there by number 12.
13th penalty for 136 yards. Hubbard on the ground. Thank you, Kevin. BYU, can they take down Tennessee and USC? The group of fives have been doing some damage the first few weeks of the season. Tulsa had a chance for a while today, but the Oklahoma State offense came alive. Their offensive coordinator Sean Gleason and Mike Gundy. Sanders. And this is something, Anthony, you've talked about could be a difference maker when it comes to playing Texas and Oklahoma in a shot at a Big 12 championship.
I know they're trying to protect him, and he's had a lot of success early in the season running the football with his legs. But to me, this is the equalizer. This is where you do have an advantage, because when guys get covered, or if it's just a kind of a draw set and you go, defenders, especially if they're running that 3-3-5, that's pretty rampant in the Big 12, there are going to be some open areas to run the football, and that can potentially move the chains. Whereas in the past, with the Rudolphs and the Cornelius, the quarterbacks that couldn't really run as much, they're kind of done if you don't have the pass open.
They've got Texas coming up next weekend and a national primetime television audience. They've won the last 4 in the series. They've won the last 5 times they've played in Austin. And if they can get it done next weekend, boy, does the schedule look pretty good heading towards Bedlam at the end of the season.
It does, and it's a big game, you know, going to Texas. You know, I don't know if this is exactly the showing they wanted to put on. I know that looked like to me they were trying to work on some things down the field in the passing game. That's clearly going to need some work, because you're going to be playing some elite players in the secondary for Texas in 1 week from now.
A yard away from 300 on the ground for Oklahoma State. Chuba Hubbard a chance to set a new career high. He's 3 yards shy of the mark. He may have gotten 2 right there. So that's what's headed our way on ABC primetime next Saturday. And the advantage has been to the Cowboys in recent years. Under 3 minutes to go. Hubbard at 220. He's a yard shy of his career high set just 2 weeks ago. He's got it again, and Hubbard with a new career high the second time this season. Over 200 yards, but he did not get the first down. He's a yard shy, and it's 4th down.
They'll go for this.
Yeah. I think they're going to call a timeout first.
Final timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
So might be a breakout game.
There's a 4th down play right here, and Hubbard is going to get his 3rd touchdown of the season if the flag is against Tulsa. Or 3rd touchdown of the game, excuse me, from 33 yards out.
Offside, defense, number 97. Penalties decline. Result of the play, touchdown.
Touchdown runs a 75, 30, and now 33.
Yeah, Stevenson right over the football, just kind of gets a little bit of a head start. But that doesn't stop Oklahoma State from running the football right down the throat.
Wow.
Right up the middle. Arm tackles aren't going to work on this guy. He's clearly one of the best tailbacks in the country. And now 256 yards, Beth. 3 TDs.
That's a nice little Saturday afternoon right there.
Coach Gundy says all ball, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's all about, serious about life and his goals. He said he's just dialed in, very, very mature for a redshirt sophomore, and they love having him.
Hubbard rushing for 8 yards a carry. Stokes. Down he goes. Boomer on the rollout, in some trouble, and incomplete. Trace Ford showing some good pressure. And that's a look at the remainder of the schedule. We'll see. The Big 12, could be a little bit deeper. We've seen Kansas and Kansas State get out to good starts. They were both winners on the road against Power 5 opponents today. Baylor, the 2-0 start. West Virginia winner today, and of course Oklahoma at the finish line. Well-deserved hydration for Mike Gundy.
He said, "Take the cap off. I need a little bit bigger gulp here." But it's a hot one today for sure. These guys were in the sun pretty much here till the end. That sideline's still covered with sunlight.
Incomplete. Intended for Abe Anderson. Clock stops with 48 seconds to go.
Oklahoma State definitely has some things to work on, Beth, as they get ready for Texas. The first 2 games, their opponent not at the level maybe, but they definitely showed out. Play to play, when you're tired and it's hot, you got to be able to respond and do the right thing, and that'll come, and it's got to come quick against Texas next week.
Tulsa, by the way, they have Wyoming at home, and then diving into the American with a short trip to SMU coming up. Cannon Montgomery, the receiver screen. His first 2 catches today of his career. And a reminder that we've got Auburn and Kent State coming up next. Bo Nix, Jatarvius Whitlow leading the way for the 8th-ranked Tigers. A challenge today for Oklahoma State, Anthony, but they responded, and they get the win with a big second half. 40-21 the final, and that's it from Tulsa. Now let's send it to Auburn for Kent State and the Tigers with an East Schrock.